Welcome back everyone, Jose21 Crisis here. Today I'm playing some more Grand Prix World 2001. We are in the 2002 season. Yeah, that's... I love the way this is going. Like, I still refer to it as 2001 when we are on the season of 2002. Anyway, of course this screen is a bit different. This is the FIA ranking screen where we see what the FIA thinks of us. And the results are not good. We are the 8th team in Formula One. If I remember correctly, we were the 4th team in Formula One last time around at the end of 2001, which is why we're getting so much FIA funding. Right now, they will give us 6.5 million, and they started this year giving us 21 million, which, it's a significant part of our funding. Of course, that will now transition to Lucky Strike being our team sponsor, giving us the most cash, but I'd still like to increase this rating. And it's been worse. We were the 10th worst team, but as the races progressed, we've gotten better. Now we built a trench here in 8th, and I definitely want to at least finish 6th. Because I think sponsors look at this rating to determine whenever they want to make deals with us or not. And even though we have this Lucky Strike deal, I'd like to renew it at the very least, and they won't do so if I'm very low in terms of FIA rankings, so that needs to get better. Other things that we can look at here is the World Drivers' Championship. Of course, Michael Schumacher is leading. 1 point is Giancarlo Fisichella, who last time around decided to trash him for some reason. Then we have David Coulthard, Mika Hakkinen, John Alesi. Not bad, considering this. Well, the Sauber is just as good as the Williams and the Benetton and the McLaren. But Alesi is holding strong. Then you have Barrichello, Webber, Panis, Raikkonen, Montoya, and Marquez, and that's everyone that's classified. Over here are the unclassified people. Okay, they're showing the test drivers here. The constructor, it is Ferrari leading, and I don't see them losing the lead. So there is that. What else can I tell you about? I can tell you about this. So I did 162 miles of testing. I did plenty of setup testing. That gave me 10 points, and I used up 4 of them. And I did some research, which I should use, that I will use. Perfect. And that's perfect. Okay, I did use it. We have 16% wear, but that's not that big of a deal. What else do we got here? I put 65% on CFD simulation, and that should be good enough to be able to fill up this bar, which means we're going to have more efficiency points. 2002, of course, that moved that a bit. Brakes, that will move slowly as usual. Nothing new happening here. As for sponsorships, I put 26% on Lucky Strike. That should be enough to progress towards the next bonus. Put 25% on Renault, which shouldn't do anything. Put 34% on LG, and that should fill up the deal completion to the 2 that we need to complete the deal, and we should have our complete 2003 sponsor profile, which, let's see how the car is looking right now before we sign that deal with LG. Is it annoying when the freaking computer decides to, no, let's just run out and stuff. So as you can see, here's everything. That Renault logo looks so poorly cut out, but anyway, it's, all game things. So yeah, there it is. It just needs one more sponsor, which I definitely want. Alright, so time to get down to business. I'll alter driver orders when it is important. I'm gonna be using soft tires, and I'm gonna be going for 2 stop strategies. The 1 stop strategy is solid, but the 2 stop is just as good, and not tire wear, but fuel penalty, like the fuel penalty on this track is massive, and we don't want to suffer that. So what I did was put a bunch of points into rain, so that if it rains, we have a decent advantage, and points into dust, so that we have more grip. As you can see here, not here, but here, we have oversteer in slow corners, and this is actually a fast track, so it doesn't matter, but I like more grip. As for orders, I will move that there. This should be a 3, this should be a 7, and this should be a 1, but I will be altering this during the qualifying so we can get the max performance possible. But just so you can see what the driver orders are all about. I think we're ready. I'm gonna save these 6 points for Austria. And let's hope for a good result here in Britain. Let's... France versus Britain. That hasn't happened in history before, has it? Alright, the British Grand Prix. I hope for an actually decent result. Last time around, it was terrible at France, so time to get revenge. Yeah, both on soft. I would have liked an improved soft tire, but it just didn't happen. Also, you might have seen that I put a bunch of rain points into our guys. That way, if it actually rains, we are good. And I expect to be good on this Grand Prix. Now, time for me to be completely wrong, but I hope that I'm right and we're actually pretty good. Looks like the previous episode was a fluke, as Michael Schumacher put it on the pole again. Maybe not entirely a fluke because Mika Häkkinen puts it second, but because Britain is glitched, the pair and the even and uneven position switch, so Häkkinen is actually on pole. Anyway, third we have Fisichella, Barrichello, they are actually swapped. Raikkonen and Webber. Then we have Alonso, who puts it 7th. Then we have Coulthard, he's fading, he might not challenge for the championship anymore. Then we have Tarso Marquez, Enrique Bernoldi, so we have both cars in the top 10. And then we have Oliver Panis, who is supposed to be much better than us. Stefan Saracen, Alesi, Montoya, all of them cars that are better than us. Then we have Mazzacane, Irvine, Ralf Schumacher, Frentzen, Verstappen, Button, Trulli, and Bertie at Jaguar at the back end, losing to both minorities. That's just terrible. So, what kind of conditions we'll get? And due to the way I got my setup, that you saw the absurd amount of rain points that I use. Why I have trouble speaking, I do not know. The absurd amount of rain points that I got, we should have a decent performance in the wet. But if it isn't wet, it's not that big of a deal. It's gonna be dry, so maybe we don't see a wet weather race, and for me that's maybe a waste of points, but it should be okay. So we are going to go with Alonso is ahead, so I'm gonna have him go longer. 22 lap stints, then just 16 laps in the final stint. Why does it seem it has no audio? I'm not sure. It seems it has no audio, but... Okay, it has audio. Okay, never mind. And Bernoldi is gonna go more traditional, just 20 lap stints. Set 5, set 6, and set 7. This should be an actually good race, unless France happens again and with the NF, but this should be an actually good race, and I hope it is. And maybe, just maybe, there's a chance at points today. Man can dream. Let's go. Of course, save the game. As I told you, here's Mika Häkkinen, he's first. Here's Michael Schumacher, he's second. So there's a glitch where positions are swapped. So I'm pretty sure Alonso is 8th and Bernoldi is 9th. Before anyone drops, of course. The 8th and 9th. Bernoldi, please block behind you. Good. And Alonso, time to move forward. Bernoldi, please do not attempt an overtake. You don't have time for overtakes here. So you might have seen that Alonso here has just one acceleration point, same with Bernoldi. The reason for that is that on the first stint, I want to have the least amount of fuel possible. Only way to do that, actually, now that I think of it. Where's the button? Swap places, please. Swap places. Remember, Bernoldi is the lighter car here. Bernoldi is a lighter car than Alonso, so might as well just have them swap positions. And please stop blocking. Also, I did not see what happened up there. Stuff was happening, and we have 3 DNFs already, so Panis just pinned it. And Mazzacane and Marquez just decided to crash. Okay, Marquez and Panis were faster than us, so those DNFs, they are actually important. Bernoldi's just flying right now. He's 7th. That's actually pretty good for us. And Alesi is surging. That he is a concern. But so far it looks like things might be working out. We are 7th and 10th. There goes Bertie. Bertie is inconsequential because he's in a Jaguar. Jaguars are slow. David Coulthard is leading. What the hell? This race is going to be more exciting than I expected. So I'll see you later. Potentially when more interesting stuff is going to happen in the British Grand Prix. It's just going to happen. Probably when rain happens, because in this track there is always a lot of rain. So see you then. So what we're seeing here is interesting. Alonso has no pace. He got stuck fighting these BARs and the Jordan of Irvine, who just recently pitted. On the other hand, Alonso, please push for the overtake. Thank you. On the other hand, Bernoldi has been spectacularly good. He has been keeping up with the Williams. He's actually in the points right now, although he will not be. I see a crash there. That's excellent because that's going to be 2 people that are not going to be on track anymore. Now I'm going to tell Bernoldi to push so that when they fuel him up, they fuel him with enough fuel so that he can actually push. Panis pitting was not what he wanted. Weber pitting was not what he wanted. But, I mean... And it was a good stop too, but... It happens. And it's not that critical that I have to counter the pit stop glitch this time around, but... At the very least, I'm gonna have to... Yeah, there goes that Jordan. At the very least, I'm gonna have Bernoldi push for the overtake on Panis. Or at the very least try to. There goes Saracen. Those 2 fools decided they were gonna crash, and they did. But yeah, sadly, yeah, Bernoldi's pit stop wasn't all that good. Hakkinen pits. Oh yeah, we can talk about what happened in the lead. For a while it was Ferrari, McLaren, with Fisichella leading from the Michael, from Coulthard, from Hakkinen. Now Hakkinen has pits, so yeah, that stopped. Nothing else I have to worry about. Okay, yeah, telling Alonso to push. And it looks like the overtake on Panis isn't happening. On Weber, he's not Panis, he's Weber. The overtake on Weber isn't happening, so let's just hold back, not wear out the tires more than they are needed, and stop blocking as well. Okay, we're gonna see how things work out. Actually, make the next stint longer, because he doesn't have that much pace. Might as well build an advantage with a overcut. Alonso's in the pits. Well, at the very least, you had the pit stop error with the guy that wasn't fighting for a point. At least the jackpot problem did not last that long. He's gonna be behind that BAR. He's gonna be ahead of the BAR, but actually, that's actually pretty good. 9th and 10th, that's solid. That is going to be very good if we can keep this up. There goes Fisichella. That means Michael's gonna win this race. There goes Coulthard as well. Michael's gonna win this race if he's on a 1-stop, because 1-stop in this track for the AI is broken. But yeah, it looks like at least Alonso managed to gain positions. Thanks to Panis, Bernoldi did not. But... you know, things are working out to be pretty interesting. There is a slight chance of points depending on what Bernoldi can do against these runners. But so far, this Grand Prix is looking pretty solid. So, welcome to the halfway point of this event. Just right now, Bernoldi is fighting for a single solitary point, while Alonso is 9th. Michael Schumacher goes into the pits as planned, because he's on a 1-stop strategy. Let me push Bernoldi while we're doing this. So, what's the current situation? First, we had a bunch of DNFs. Unfortunately, Alesi is also on a 1-stop, and we were fighting Alesi at the start of this race, but it is what it is. Let me stop pushing Bernoldi. So, we had a bunch of DNFs, as you might remember. Marquez, Mazzacane, Panis, and Bertie. All of them DNF on the opening laps. Sad for them. Frentzen lost his electronics on lap 5. I don't think I know, I did not show that. Then you had Irvine and Saracen crashing for whatever reason because they wanted that position and you saw them crash while it was distracted with stuff. So there's that. So currently running, we have Fisichella on the lead, followed by Michael Schumacher, the championship contenders. David Coulthard, the other championship contender, is third. Then you have John Lacey, Mika Hakkinen, Rubens Barrichello, Enrique Bernoldi, Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso, and Juan Montoya rounding up the top 10. I don't know what Mark Webber is doing. Ralf Schumacher is still around. Jos Verstappen is around, and the Minardis are functioning like actual roadblocks. You can see Webber is around here. He has been unable to pass, that's Trulli. He has been unable to pass Trulli for the past few laps. It's been absurd. Same thing kind of with, well, he's just catching up to Button, but in a moment, Alonso is going to have to pass Button. And the Minardis just don't want to get out of the way. And for whatever reason, the blue flags are not triggering on them. And Webber finally passes Trulli, as I mentioned that. But the blue flags just not triggering on them for whatever reason. And, you know, you would prefer to have blue flags triggering because that will mean the guy has to get out of the way by serving a pit stop. But no, it had not happened. Which is sad for those that were stuck behind. Okay, Alonso managed to get through Button. Now he's trying to hunt down Raikkonen. As for here, it looks like Bernoldi stalled out his progress. He has bogged down behind Barrichello, so he's just gonna stand by there. Maybe he'll get him on the pit stops. Maybe not. Ralf Schumacher's in the pits. So yeah, things have stabilized after those opening lap crashes and stuff. Hopefully, we can find a way to pick off Barrichello. Hopefully on the stops. If not, then on track, I suppose. But like I mentioned before, things are looking very much on the up, considering we're just one position away from points. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, not even a lap has happened, and I just found something new and interesting. We are on the first page of the fastest laps. Bernoldi has the 6th fastest lap in the race. This Michael Schumacher lap is glitched, do not bother looking at it. But this one, look, compared to Hakkinen, is very positive. Compared to Rubens, is very positive. So we've been very good. It's just that we need to get better. And we will get better considering the way things are going. So I'm going to have Bernoldi serve his second and final pit stop of the day in lap 39. And the reason for that is that Barrichello is going to pit in lap 40. And that means the pit stop glitch is going to happen, and if he has an issue, then we're going to be overtaken by Raikkonen, and it's going to be messy, it's going to be an issue, and I don't want to have issues right now considering the run where it happened. So I'm going to have Barrichello running free. We're going to have a good pit stop for Bernoldi, which is excellent. Yeah, for some reason, or well, not for some reason, somehow Bernoldi managed to overtake Barrichello. I did not notice it, but it happened, and it was awesome, and he was ahead. So now after the pit stop, unless the Williams screw up really bad, he's gonna be behind, but it's not that big of a deal, because if he could pass it on track, if he could pass Barrichello on track, then he can do it once again. But right now he's behind Raikkonen. Maybe he can catch up and pass Raikkonen. No, Raikkonen is on a 2-stop, so it's not that big of a deal. Who I need to pass Raikkonen is Alonso. I need him to catch up. Maybe Raikkonen pits next lap or something, and Bernoldi can and Alonso can get through. Bernoldi is gonna be just about to be able to overtake Barrichello. No, but at the very least they are very close by. Maybe just maybe, we can have him overtake right now. But for now, we settle down and we wait for Alonso's pit stop, and hopefully Raikkonen pits this lap so that we can gain of him as Alonso. For all the trash I've thrown Bernoldi's way, he's actually doing pretty good. He did manage to overtake Barrichello. Come on, man. He actually managed to overtake Barrichello on pure merit, on his own. Like, just go get it done. And he got it done. And he's ahead, and he's 6th, and he has a chance at a point. Meanwhile, over here is Alonso, who caught up to Raikkonen, but he's not going to be able to pass it in the remaining parts of the race because he has to pit right now, and he's at the mercy of the pit crew. I do hope they give him a good stop at the very least. I want to beat this Benetton. We have to do something at the very least. It's not a good stop because, of course, he stalls the car again. But at the very least, we have a good chance at a point. In the fight of the Brazilians, our Brazilian is winning this one. And in other battles, Michael Schumacher took personal. The shade got thrown to him by Fisichella and is now beating him, despite the fact he's on a one-stop and Fisichella should be faster than him right now. But he has no issue. And what has to happen now is that Alonso at the very least has to be able to catch Webber and pass him, at least for his pride, if anything else. He of course going to be one lap down, but what I'm going to take pride in, assuming we don't DNF, is that Alonso is going to finish ahead of a Benetton in the top 10. Part of it was the fact that we have this many DNFs and Tarso Marquez and Panis aren't here. But we're also going to be able to finish with a point. Oh, come on, don't have a mistake right there, man. We're going to be able to finish with a point, assuming Bernoldi can hold both Barrichello and Raikkonen. Raikkonen right now seems pretty fast, but my hopes and prayers are on Bernoldi. I hope he can actually hold on to the position, please. You can do it. We enter the final lap of this race, and it's Michael Schumacher, Giancarlo Fisichella just very, very close by, just fighting it out. Right there. Over here is Webber. Unfortunately, Alonso couldn't close the distance at all, and there's a very good reason for that. He just burned up his tires. Like, they are overheated. They ain't going anymore. He's a lap down, so not much is happening there. What is happening is that despite Bernoldi heating up his tires up to optimal temperature, he is still leading Rubens and Raikkonen. Raikkonen did manage to close the distance, still hasn't passed Barrichello. Michael Schumacher is going to win this race from Fisichella, and Coulthard is going to be P3. P4 is going to be John Alesi, you see him over there. And 5th is going to be Mika Hakkinen. And 6th has not been decided, but everything Bernoldi needs to do now is just make it to the end. Please don't run into that Benetton. We are not going to run into that Benetton, fortunately. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have scored the first points for Prost Grand Prix in the 2002 season. Suspension damage is not a big problem. The race is over. Suspension can be as damaged as it wants, but it doesn't really matter to me because the race is done. P6, first points for the team. Alonso, unfortunately, is 10th. I would have preferred Alonso to be the one scoring the points, but what can you do? So, Michael Schumacher from Fisichella returning the little jab he threw at him in the news. Coulthard, Alesi, Hakkinen, and Bernoldi are your point scorers. Then you have Barrichello, Raikkonen, Webber, and Alonso rounding out the top 10. Montoya, Ralf Schumacher, Jos Verstappen, Jenson Button, and Jarno Trulli are your remaining finishers. Here is the bunch of people that DNF that might have played a part in this right here, but it's Formula 1. To finish first you have to finish, and in our case, we finish and we finish 6th. That is a point. So Michael Schumacher retakes a decent lead in this championship. He now has 5 over Fisichella. Coulthard is out of this. He is 13 points away. He can climb up, but he needs to do better. Hakkinen is 4th. Then we have Alesi 20 points. Barrichello 14. Webber 12. All the way down here in 12th is Bernoldi. We hope to get more points. And now we, as Prost, are 7th, qualified for the World Constructors' Championship. We're clearly not going to win this, but at the very least, we can challenge BAR for 6th, and maybe, just maybe, if the upgrades are good enough, we can challenge Williams or Benetton for 4th. Just great things have to happen. Profit of 24,000, that's because we built the car last time around, and that's expensive. We're ready to upgrade this year's car. Excessive wear. We have not built any cars to next year's design, and time is running out. We need to do something. We need to have a proper design. Do not worry, Mr. Technical Director. They want more setup time, which I think I'm going to give them. Some spares, we need to manufacture more spares, that I know. Loctite, Nortel, General Electric. All of them have signed, which is good for us. Asiatech reduced support, Michelin increased support, ELF increased support, and PSN. We need to secure maximum sponsorship funding for next year. We're about to do that. Lucky Strike better terms, Renault better terms, and we got a deal with LG, so we're about to fill up our roster of sponsors. Don't care about hospitality, man. Don't care about licensing. We scraped the point. We need to build on this, and I'm gonna try to, but Austria is not that track. Of course, our non-scoring car did finish the race. Yeah, we had 2 issues with Alonso, but one of them was Alonso's fault, okay? Arrows and McLaren have deals. Arrows with Benson and Hedges, McLaren with Miles. That's gonna look terrible. Why blue on a grey car? Or well, this particular blue on that particular grey car. Jeez. Michael adds another race win. Bernoldi scored his first ever championship points. Now it's Alonso's turn. Of course, Ferrari totally crushed the opposition, just the usual. Rumors suggest that Prost is looking to cancel its contract with Alonso. No, we're not. What are you babbling about? Sauber is going into partnership with Renault. That's not ideal because we want that Renault Works deal, because it is part of the objectives of this. Ferrari is gonna run away with the championship. Passes lap by the Michael. A bunch of sponsors. Oh yeah, Prost. Ferrari with the automatic gears driver rate. We're not the worst manager this time around. We got a bunch of points actually. I am the 10th worst manager, but this thing is skewed towards the CPU until the final Grand Prix. I do not know why. Do not ask me why. What can I do here? Can I hire more people? Can you headhunt more people? Yes, we're gonna hire more trainees in commercial because having more people is good. Gonna move one designer to good and one over here and one over here. Good. Engineering, that's full, but I liked engineering morale to go up a bit. So I'm gonna stand by, not gonna move anything there. And this one, what do I do here? Can I get more people? No. Move one, and move 1. 2. There. 26-16, that should be good enough. I eventually want to reduce the number of trainees to 10 and then move everyone else up. But at some point I need to stop firing and hiring mechanics so that the morale goes up. That's kind of part of the reason why it doesn't go up as fast if you keep firing and hiring people. Okay, let's get done with LG right now. And we finally have full sponsorship for next year, which is something we couldn't do in the previous year. We're going to, this year we have 8 million, some of, well, mostly from Acer. That doesn't take into account the cost of Asiatech, Michelin, and ELF supplies. Now we're gonna have 34 million, mostly from Lucky Strike, and you know, the Renault deal is a bit expensive, but we're working to lower that, as you can see. How much? I'll calculate that, but we have reduced it from 7.5 million in cost to buy all of the engines to 7.125. I'm planning on lowering that even more. What else do we do here? We're gonna keep that as is. Okay, so the 2003 CFD simulation is done. Now we're gonna focus on model design and then the wind tunnel. This is done. The driving aid is, I guess, progressing, you can say. Let's build spare parts. Let's build 4 spare parts, and we're going to use all of them. Or maybe not. Maybe we won't use them. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to build another car. Why is it so cheap? This one, okay, it's not that cheap, but it's cheaper than it should be. Okay, so Alonso, you get car number 1, Bernoldi. I want to hold on to one spare part, so I'm gonna give you car number 3 and car number 2 to Bordeaux. So car number 4 remains as the research and development car, and we're gonna fix the entirety of car number 3. It's gonna cost a bit more, but I want to fix car number 3 instead of car number 2 so that we have spare parts in the car. Okay, 63% assigned to testing. That should be enough to get everything. Alright. Oh yeah, I need to invest this. Where exactly do I want to invest this? You know what, let's throw it on wind. Oh no! Okay, there's a glitch where at times if you fill up this bar, it will invest 4 points instead of 3. I had 6 points, now I have 6 points, I put 3 here, I should have 3, now I have 2. No, Bernoldi, you're not getting that many win points. I know you just scored a point for us, but no, Alonso is our number 1. Deal with it, man. Let's throw Alonso 1 rain point. Bernoldi can cope. So, yes on the setup, and now I'm gonna do testing and see. I need to carry all of the setup points from Austria to Germany, because Germany is the key race in this championship, in this calendar. So we need to have a good result there, and also I need to figure out how much people to put where. So I'll see you in a moment. First time save, and I'll see you in a moment. Alright, welcome back. I have done my calculations. So first things first, 176 testing miles, which gave us full setup, full research. The configuration was 14% setup, 49% research, 90% setup, 10% for Bordeaux, 10% for the drivers, 90% for Bordeaux. That gave us again full setup, which we're going to take into Germany. Full research, which I'm not using, so I'm able to rush this upgrade, bring it for Germany, which again is the most important race in this calendar because we can actually win that one with a pretty broken strategy. Everything else, I mostly adjusted Loctite, Lucky Strike, and Reynolds, so we can keep working on bonuses. Could work on bonuses for Michelin, but that's nothing, man. That's nothing. I was checking here if there's something I could do, but no, we still have that massive loan, which is the reason we're not making that much money. We have to repay 300k per race, per weekend, which it's a significant number. We could use that money, but we also use this money to make great things like buy the race cars and survive the previous year, so it is necessary. So far I have not needed to sell my shares, and they're expensive, and in any case I can only sell 9, which is... it's not gonna help us that much. It might be necessary for building the 2003 cars, but I really doubt it. Anyway, so already did this. That should be okay. So I'm going to proceed with doing my testing and seeing what will be the best configuration for this track. Let me just set this to 5s all around. And I'm going to be ready to go testing, which of course you will not be able to tell because the transition is seamless as always. Okay? Me, see you, see if everything else is correct. Okay, see you in the race. Austria. Like France. To me, usually this is a... oh, jeez. To me, usually this is a Barn Grand Prix where I usually don't really care about the results of this one because the AI is so strong. The same thing is gonna happen here. I'm hoping for another point, but I know it's not gonna happen. We got light rain to start things, so I'm probably just gonna sit there, watch the cars run around until it dries out. If necessary, I'll go out and do a lap on the inters or the wets. At the very least, I hope to qualify, which we should be able to. It will be dry eventually. So, yeah, let's get in there. Hope to have another good qualifying. We're still bringing the softs. We're probably going to be using the softs all the way to the end, except for Germany. But we'll worry about that when we get there. So let's get in there. Another decent qualifying for us. Michael Schumacher once again takes pole position. It looks like the time of Hakkinen is over. Second will be David Coulthard trying to fight back into this championship. Then we have Fisichella, Hakkinen, of course, the great fall from grace, 2 pole positions in a row, was not going to last so long. Then we have Webber, both Williams in Raikkonen and Barrichello. Then we have Alonso in 8th, Marquez in 9th, Bernoldi in 10th. Take a look at this. We're just 3/10 away from the Ferraris, although part of it is the fact that this is a very short track and the fastest lap is like a minute 12. So, yeah, it's what happens when you are on short tracks. We're going to get to that in a moment. Montoya, Panis, Alesi, Irvine, Saracen, Schumacher, Ralph, Frentzen, Trulli, Bertie, Button, and Verstappen are the rest of them. You should note here that from first to all the way down to Saracen, there's just like 0.8 of a second in between those two. So very short times. The only one that was not close was Mazzacane. He did not put down representative lap times in the drive for whatever reason. I just don't get what Jordan was trying to do with him. And we're going to have light rain, of course. In the track that I prepare for rain, we don't have any rain. And when I don't prepare for rain, rain hits. I should have put all my waypoints into rain, but we are here already. So we just got to deal with it. Let's see. Do I expect to keep raining? I do. I expect rain will continue for most of the race. I'm going to gamble in that it will keep raining. That's gonna be my bet. It's gonna keep raining and we're gonna be in the proper tire at the proper time. And if I'm wrong, well, it's gonna be no points. It was going to be no points anyway, but you know, we gotta try something. It's gonna be like Monaco. We're gonna be on the wet tires at the right time. Let's get in there, see what we can do. First of all, lower race speed to 100. I had qualifying running at 150, so that didn't go for too long. But the races I run at 100%. Okay. Tell the boys to start blocking. Alright. We're gonna drop back. The question is, how far will we drop? Goodbye, Mark Webber. We are... What? How? Okay, 5th, that's more reasonable. 6th, 13th, that's more reasonable. But for a moment, Alonso was 3rd. That is not reasonable at all. I do not know how that happened. We're not dropping back, which is what we expected considering we have the wrong tires. Tarso Marquez is gone too. He blew up this engine. Webber stalled. And we are now losing places, which is exactly the thing we should be doing, considering we have wet tires when it should be intermediate. Let's keep that up for just this first lap. Hopefully no one crashes into us. Okay, weather is not turning yet. It's gonna be a set of painful laps like it happened in Monaco, where I'm pretty sure it was Alonso. Alonso just kept dropping back and it was just sad. But yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen here. We're just gonna keep dropping back slowly. As you can see, Bernoldi is already dead last. And Alonso is not far from him, he's 15th, but he's slowing down everyone, so when it turns to wet, he's not gonna have to go that long to overtake. Of course, I'm gonna have Alonso give the place to Bernoldi, because Bernoldi is the faster of the two wet weather drivers. Will it go to wet now? No, it does not. And he loses the position now. It's time for me to drop the braking to 1 so that we don't overcook the brakes before we're meant to. And I'm just going to keep riding on this hope that the track is going to turn into wet. If it doesn't, well, I made a mistake. But for now, let's just keep hoping. Our gamble has worked. The circuit is now very wet and our boys are gonna start flying. The thing is, track needs to remain like this for like 10-20 laps for this thing to be worthwhile. At the very least, stay very wet. Even if it stops raining, it needs to remain very wet. But now our boys are going to be flying. Will we be able to make up for, you know, all the drop places? You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I think we're gonna be able to make up for it. skies have switched to overcast, and what has happened is that we went from dead last to 8th and 9th, and there's an extra victim here in that Coulthard also pitted for wet tires, so if we go down, he goes down with us. Michael is going to win this race, Barrichello is going to finish second, and Alesi over here is third. So far, let's not do that because the finish line is coming up real quick. So far, things have gone excellent for us. We are 8th and 9th. The track conditions have definitely favored us. We are somewhat getting closer to the front runners. Ideally, we want to overtake Fisichella all the way over there, who is on intermediate still. Ideally, the track conditions don't switch to dry just yet, to intermediate at least, because I want to be able to keep gaining on them. Up ahead is Montoya, then it's Fisichella. But every time the Michael crosses the start-finish line, there's a chance the weather changes and it goes to intermediate, and everything we've done gets lost if that happens. So I don't want that to happen. But so far, things are looking up. We want to catch Häkkinen, or at the very least Fisichella, because Fisichella is 6th, Häkkinen is 4th. We want to catch them and then try to hold position with the wets for as long as possible until we can switch to the intermediate, which I hope to be able to do on these laps, so that we can serve the stop, switch to the proper tire in a single go. Of course, just as we catch, these boys like Alesi and which one is that? No, that's a back marker, don't worry about it. But we catch Alesi and the others, and of course now it switches to wet, so we're going to go ahead and take the intermediate. We're going to schedule pit stops real quick right here. We lost the position, but it's not that big of a deal. Just let the Michael go. So we're gonna pit there. Michael pits, so Bernoldi is gonna have a somewhat slow stop. He has a refueling hose issue, which means his position is even more compromised now. Look at them go. And now he goes. At the very least, it's gonna be wearing intermediates after that. The pit crew really needs to improve. I think I'm gonna stop swapping positions on the swapping stuff, like personnel and stuff, in the mechanics department, just to see if the guys stop making, like, morale improves and we finally get level 5 pit stops, because this is getting absurd. Also, I need to stop that so they don't, like, utterly destroy the brakes. Let's see, who's gonna screw us? No one, I hope. No one's gonna screw us. The only one that gets screwed is Bernoldi because of that terrible slow pit stop. Okay, we're heading out. Bernoldi should be ahead. And he is ahead. 8th and 9th, after the stops and everything, it's not half bad. Just have to get rid of Montoya ahead. We should be 7th and 8th. Overall, the gamble for the wets went pretty well. If it only lasted a few more laps, we would have been able to get Fisichella, but and we're not gonna get him in the dry, let's be honest. But at the very least, we got what we asked for, which is the strategy working, the gamble working. It worked marvelously. I have no complaints, other than it could have been better, but considering we're 8th and 9th against people that's faster than us, Raikkonen is right behind, he's gonna catch us and stuff. This went pretty well. Good job, Luciano Berti. Now get out of my way. So yeah, I'm gonna see you later at the half race report when, it's the moment I actually do the report. We're actually gonna pass Häkkinen for 6th. We're making another point here. But, race is long, so I'll see you later. Well, was that quick? Okay, first things first, I'm actually going to bring Alonso. To the detriment of Bernoldi, and the reason for that is that Alonso is our number 1 driver. That's the only reason. And I just hope we have no errors. If things go right, if things go right. Well, at the very least, it didn't happen to our probable point scorer. Both Williams go. I mean, that's just disaster. At the very least, it didn't happen to Bernoldi. I hope nothing happens to Bernoldi. That was so close to being stopped by the Michael. Okay, set tire number 4 for our future stop. Set tire number 4 for the next stop. Curtis in the pits. Everyone's going to the pits now. How long was that stop? How terrible was it? 14 seconds. Yeah, you ain't winning that many Grand Prix with 14-second stops. We need to get Bernoldi out of there quick because there's a Benetton coming. Thank you. Thank you. Coming out with the rest of that band, Bernoldi's still ahead. So, yeah, it worked out as well. Okay, so let's see if we can catch Alesi. If we can catch Alesi before he gets into his stop, and by catch Alesi I mean Alonso, if we can catch him real quick before he goes into the pit stop, we gain a position and we have 5th and he goes into the pit stop, but there is still a chance. There's still a significant chance. Come on, Rubens, move it. Get into the pit. Come on, Rubens. Why do you have to be so slow? Thank you. But now Alesi is ahead. 5th and 7th though, so there is a chance of fighting for points here. By points, I mean two scoring positions, which is excellent. You know, he's catching. He might get there. Let's go back to this when we get to the half race report. Welcome to the half race report, where things are just it's a vertical slope all the way up. Alonso has finally passed Alesi. It's now on the way of passing Trulli, and it's about to get in position to overtake Fisichella, which is pretty good. Bernoldi already did. He already passed Fisichella. He's 4th. Next up is number 3rd, all the way over there. That's Coulthard. But let's first increase the braking order and have an overview of this race. So, Michael Schumacher, of course, leads and has put a lap on the field. Good job, Alonso. Let's see, put that order there and drop down braking. I don't want you, burning up the brakes or the tires, and increase those orders. Sure, why not? So, friends and pits. Michael Schumacher leads from Barrichello. Let's see, do we have the race order? No, the race order is not going to work because Michael Schumacher put a pit stop, not a pit stop gap, but put a lap on the field. Like everyone, absolutely everyone, it's a lap down. Barrichello speeding. You know what? Just stop. Barrichello, Coulthard are the podium and are on the same lap overall. Then you have Bernoldi, Alonso, and Alesi rounding out the point scoring positions. And then you have Fisichella, Häkkinen, Raikkonen, and Montoya rounding out the top 10. As for your DNFers, you have, of course, Webber and Marquez stalled and had an engine issue on the first lap. Saracen and Button hit each other. Saracen lost the rear wing, Button lost the front wing. Panis had a clutch issue, he DNF'd, he's gone. So there is a lot of them. And for a while now, Alonso had the fastest lap of the race that got taken by David Coulthard and Michael Schumacher, eventually. That right there is Häkkinen. But yeah, things are looking great. Things are looking great so far. We are getting very close to Barrichello, although Barrichello did stop a while ago. Coulthard, I don't think we're going to pass. So it's just us against Alesi and one of these others if they somehow screw up. There's a chance at a podium here, but I doubt it. And more important than that, since Alonso has an overcut advantage because he's going to pit 2 laps later, and Bernoldi cooled down his tires for whatever reason, we might see Alonso ahead of Bernoldi, which is going to put him ahead in the driver's standings, which is what we want because Alonso is our number 1 driver. Stop blocking clean air, there's no need to that. And I'll see you later when Bernoldi has to pit. So far, things are looking good. And I expect things to look better, assuming no one DNFs. Don't do it. Thank you. I'll see you later. Tricky conditions have occurred. First, it's raining again. At least we're gonna have plenty of time before it gets into the intermediates or wets. But it might happen again, and I prefer it not happening because even though we took advantage with the wet tires at the beginning of the race, it's not that effective midway through the race, I think. Second of all, I'm gonna tell Bernoldi to push because he has his pit stop coming up real quick. He's gonna pit next this time by. Alonso can go another lap, so let's have him go another lap. And I'm gonna have Bernoldi. He could do that, I think. Sure. Let's have him do that. He could absolutely do it. Cool, Fisichella, please get out of the way. Please, Fisi man. Fisichella, come on. You're gonna get Ferrari a blue flag, come on. Fine, don't get out of the way. Okay, at least Bernoldi has a solid stop, so that's something. Thank you, Fisichella. You finally get out of the freaking way. No one else pits. Alesi is all the way down here, so he's not a threat. Now it's just making it to the end of the race. I just hope Alonso has a good stop. Goodbye, Bertie. Engine blow up, engine blow up. I saw the smoke all the way over there, just had to double confirm that it was indeed an engine blow up. Now, up next is Alonso. Let's skip ahead to that. It is now Alonso's turn. I think he has a pit stop gap to Bernoldi, which is honestly exactly what I want. I want Alonso to be ahead. Remember, once again, he's our number one driver. I know Bernoldi brought our first points of the year, but I want Alonso to finish ahead. He's not gonna be ahead after this pit stop. I think it's gonna last a bit too long for him to be able to be ahead of Bernoldi. It's gonna be close though. It's gonna be real close. Yeah, he's kind of like there. You know what, Alonso, please get this move done. Get this move done. You had the better tires. Come on. There he goes. There he goes. Bernoldi just let it go. Let him go. Let him go. And David Coulthard just pitted a moment ago. That's interesting. But Alonso is through. We have a 4th and 5th going down right now. Yeah, Coulthard is way too far ahead. So it's going to be 4th and 5th unless the rain shakes things up. And if it does, and once again, I'm bringing Alonso first because I want him to finish ahead. He did not get points last time around, and even though the Bernoldi is a better wet weather driver, Alonso actually held on to him pretty well. So I want him to succeed on this one. And he's our number one driver, and I have the power, so I can just issue driver orders as I please. So let's see you until either the weather decides to change to wet conditions, or the weather decides to stop changing and just stay dry. It took forever, but it's finally happened. And in the end, I probably did not have to do the Alonso Bernoldi switch voluntarily because, like, Alonso was all the way over here, Bernoldi is here, so yeah. Bernoldi, like, lost a lot of pace. Maybe we can service both. We can service both cars. We can service both cars in the same stop because they are so spread apart. Okay, get out of the way, number 11. Get out of the way, Montoya. I think that's Montoya. Yeah, it's Montoya. Yes, thank you for getting out of the way. Okay, this doesn't risk anything because the next car is. Where are you? Okay, there you are. The next car is Alesi, and Alesi is all the way back there, so there's no risk, nothing to lose on this one. Might as well do it. And right now, there's a big chance of Alonso catching Barrichello. He just needs to keep driving hard, and he might have a chance of catching him. Or even Coulthard. He might catch Coulthard, you know? Just needs to make it happen. Just Verstappen, good job. Okay, Coulthard is all the way over here. Barrichello is all the way over here. We have a few laps to... Oh, Alesi's gone. He crashed in... Oh, no. He actually did it. He actually did it. Just did the just thing. But this time with Alesi. Awesome job. You just had to get out of the way and Alesi gets points. But no, just don't get out of the way. Good job. Okay, how many laps do we have now? We have 3 laps. To be able to catch both of these men, and if that happens, well, both of these men. Coulthard's all the way over here, so we're not catching him. But at the very least, we're catching Barrichello, and... I don't want to go into very wet. The dries are worse than the inters at very wet conditions, so might as well just stick it out on the inters and get the job done. I'm not gonna switch to the very wet, to the wet tires. We're just gonna get it done on the inters. Okay, push for the overtake. Man, it's your first points, it's your first podium, you need to fight for it. Go and fight for it with your life. Just bring the car home too. There he goes. There he goes, Alonso on the podium. He could not get it done in the previous race, missed out on points. Now, on this one, he's gonna get it done. Get out of the way, arrows. And where's Michael? Michael has 2 more laps to go. Who's that, Hakkinen? Bernoldi puts Hakkinen a lap down. There's a slight, believable chance that Bernoldi can actually catch... No, Barrichello spinning, dang it. Actually, Barrichello spinning, there is a non-zero chance that we can actually hold up Barrichello and get a 3-4. You know what? Let's gamble on it. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense at this point. We have to hold. We must resist. Especially you, Bernoldi, you have to resist. He probably isn't catching Barrichello right now. But at the very least, Raikkonen got set on fire or something. It's just an annoying issue. He did not get set on fire. We will have been a better Raikkonen thing. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, Michael Schumacher's on his final lap. Bernoldi just needs to survive one more lap. He's not gonna do it. I don't think he's not gonna do it. It's not gonna be a 3-4, it's gonna be a 4-5. It's gonna be a 3-5, I mean. So, Michael Schumacher dominates the Austrian Grand Prix. He wins the race. Everyone is a lap down. Yeah, just Michael Schumacher things. Bernoldi could not do it, but at the very least, Alonso is gonna make it, I think. Before he gets overtaken by Barrichello, Michael needs to cross the start-finish line, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna do it. So, second, it's going to be David Coulthard all the way over here, all the way to the top. And third, it's gonna be our very own Fernando... Yeah, wait. Yeah, we should be fine. It's gonna be our very own Fernando Alonso on third in the podium for his first ever championship points. Fourth is gonna be Barrichello, fifth is gonna be Bernoldi, and sixth is gonna be Mika Hakkinen. Roll that video. What an excellent result, what an excellent race. I was a bit down after the French Grand Prix fiasco that just didn't go anywhere, and now we get this. Michael Schumacher once again wins by putting everyone a lap down. I'm pretty sure it is a Grand Slam. I don't think he has the fastest lap though, so never mind. Coulthard, second, throwing himself back into the championship fight, although I think he needs to win in order to be back into the championship fight proper. Alonso, for his first championship points, it's on the podium. Good job. Barrichello is fourth, Bernoldi comes up fifth, and Hakkinen sixth. Montoya, Fisichella, Trulli, and Frentzen run out the top 10. Fisichella just gone. Like, he's not gonna be fighting for the championship anymore. Now Alonso is 10th, tied with Montoya Marquez with 4 points. Michael Schumacher has a 15-point advantage over Fisichella and Coulthard, who are now squabbling for second. 10th and 13th are Alonso and Bernoldi, which is excellent, and we're now 6th ahead of VAR, who still cannot score any points. If we keep this up, again, we might be able to get into 5th, 4th, or even 3rd, which is very unlikely. We're gonna need upgrades for that, and conveniently, there's an upgrade coming for Germany. So there's that. Of course, everyone is still unhappy, despite the good result. Look at the news now. Of course, Michael has another win. He's just gonna keep winning, of course. Bernoldi came 5th at the last race. Alonso has scored his first ever championship points with a podium. Prost is happy to see both its cars finish in the top 6. It's been a while since I saw that one. VAR has signed a landmark works deal with BMW. Good for them. McLaren also, all of his cars in the top 6. Arrows and Michelin. Of course, no one had. No way. Of course. Alonso also scores the fastest lap, so of course Michael Schumacher does not get the Grand Slam, even despite the refueling problems he saw on the podium. Williams had some kind of issue, I guess. Kimi broke the suspension. It would be a very Kimi thing to do. Just sponsor stuff, driving aid stuff. McLaren and Prost both have a complete sponsorship package. Regulations, I need to check that in a moment. Top award for Luca Di Montezemolo, despite one of his cars not being in the points. Why I'm not the best manager anyway? I'm 10th, which is decent. They are, of course, still a bit pissed off for whatever reason. I don't know, man. Everyone here is happy except for the mechanics, who are still upset. I'm gonna leave that static. I'm not gonna do anything to mechanics, but engineering got pretty happier now. I'm gonna leave everyone static so that morale builds up. Well, maybe not here, because morale's already pretty high, so just move someone up, move someone up, move someone up. That should be it. Let's see, what else we have here? Of course, that. Where do I want to invest my points? It's gonna be on wind. Why? Fuel consumption. Higher wind reduces fuel consumption for whatever reason, and I'm gonna take advantage of that. Right, the emails. Don't forget the emails. Or the mail. It's mail, not email. Anyway, little bit profit because again I built a car. Upgrades. We have a lot of setup testing progress data that is not being used. I already used it. We're gonna use a research, and they are of course still upset because they're not getting enough testing time, which, how many miles do you need? We need more spares, I know. We got an agreement with LG. Elf is happier. We got a better deal with Loctite. The team is pleased. We got into the top 3, which got some points. Now let's get some more, and we are on the right track to do that. Yeah, but pit stop. Our sponsors really enjoyed seeing both of our cars finish in the top in the points. I love that as well. And our FIA funding position has gotten better. This episode started here, now we're gonna go back there. We're 7th now, we were 8th. Our objective is to go back to 4th, which is where we ended last year. Probably not gonna end there, at the very least I want to be 6th. Alright, that is progressing nicely. This is done. So let's build that. Research. Construct component, 62%. Build another 2002 chassis upgrade, and build more spare parts. I'm considering building another. Yeah, sure. We have the cash. This is gonna be hurting us in the long run, but gotta take advantage of the cash and the ability to save spare parts. So now we have one spare part, we have a ton of mechanics to use, and let's use car number 4. No, let's use car number 3. Let's be real. We have a spare part in the reserve, which we can use if needed, and I have a bunch of mechanics to be able to do setup, development, and research with the least amount of miles possible, because now they got expensive. And considering finish the model design phase, yeah, sure. Do you know what? Just wait. Wait, we're gonna get some research points. I'm gonna apply them here. Then I'm gonna go into the wind tower in that order. Don't worry. That driver aid is going, but I still have not built either the technology or the driving aid, so not that useful. Let's see how the regulations have changed. We're only carrying over the electronics, which, whatever, I don't care about electronics. They're in good level, so it's perfectly okay. Let's see. Everything is looking good there. Loctite is happy. Renault could be happier. Same with Lucky Strike. They will be happier after Germany. Germany is going to be a good race. So I just need to do testing, organize stuff, maybe move some sponsorship stuff, and we should be a-okay. I really need to stop building 2002 cars, but I might have to do it again after Germany, because car wear in Germany is significant. But anyway, I think that will be it. I hope you enjoyed this one. We finally started getting points. Were there 6 in the Constructors' Championship? Of course, we won't reach the high point of 2001, where we got 34 points and we were 4th. We will have to start winning a lot of races, a few races to be able to do that, but you know what? I'm very happy with what happened today. So, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Hope you like, comment, subscribe, and, support me on Coffee if you really so desire. Hope you really enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next episode. I'm really happy about this one. It was good stuff, and I hope it turns into better stuff. See you in the next episode.